Hey, what's up guys, it's Timels, and Forza Horizon 2 got announced at E3, at Microsoft's E3 press conference, and I just want to give you all the news that's been coming out on it. So it's been a couple days now since E3, it's actually over, and I waited until now to make this video because I want to get all the news and make sure it's all accurate and, give you all of it at once. So here we go. So one of the things we learned, it's going to be in Europe, and it's going to be an open world game, as we know from Forza Horizon, the first one. It was in the US though, and this one's going to be in Europe, which is always good because that way you get to experience a different open world, not just the US kind of scenery, but the European scenery as well. And that way, the Europeans get a chance to, drive around their own place, I guess. So that's always awesome. So it's going to be in 1080p, and instead of being in 60 frames per second like Forza Motorsport 5 was, it's going to be in 30 frames per second, but it's going to be locked 30 frames per second, which means it's guaranteed not to drop frames, which is always good. So when you're driving like 200 miles an hour, it's not going to stutter and drop frames or whatever on the screen, and you're going to have like a smooth gameplay, and that's always very good because I'd rather have that than 60 frames per second and it's stuttering because it's dropping frames. And the reason Forza Motorsport 5 wasn't dropping frames was because since it was it was 60 frames per second and it wasn't dropping frames, was because since it wasn't an open world game, it didn't need that extra processing power to load up the entire map. And because in an open world game, it can't load the entire map and not have to load it again. Like, it loads a huge portion of it, but once you start driving forward really fast, like in a super fast car, it needs to have time to render what's up ahead, and it needs to have that extra processing power. And if you're trying to run it at 60 frames per second and you're going super fast, it's gonna start lagging because it's a huge world. It's open world. That's what that's why it's called open world. So that's the reason it's 30 frames per second. It's only because it's open world and it needs to use more processing power to keep loading what's up ahead, because it can't load the entire huge map at once. So that's understandable in my opinion. So that's one thing. Another thing we learned though, sorry for getting all technical with you guys, I'm a nerd with that kind of stuff. But anyway, so another thing we learned, it has greater draw distance than the first Forza Horizon, and that means let's say you're driving, right, and you can see farther up ahead. Pretty much that's pretty much what it is, and that's always great, especially in racing games. So you can see what's up ahead, and you can take the right timing to make your turn or whatever, because you see it up ahead for quite some time, so you're ready to do what you need to do and you know what to do. So and also it means you can see maybe mountains up far, and that's always good because it just adds to the scenery and makes it better. So that's another great thing that I'm glad they added. Let's see, so what else did they add here? So they added a rivatar, and that's always good. Well, they didn't add rivatar. They kept adding rivatar. Forza Motorsport 5 had it, and now Forza Horizon 2 has it. And I think rivatar is a really good concept, a really great idea, and I hope they implement it into more games. A quick example I want to say, just because if you guys don't know, Gears of War is one of my favorite games, and I know that game, if you guys have played it, you know that when you play multiplayer and someone leaves the game, a bot takes its place, and a bot's an AI or the computer, or however you want to describe it, and pretty much it's just a computer bot, whatever, playing as a Locust or a COG soldier, and they're super stupid. They're dumb. So so when you have on your team, you're kind of at a disadvantage when the other team has like a full 5 players, because they are actually human beings who are smart enough and most of the time they're more skillful than bots. There's always those couple guys that are worse than the bots, but for the most part the bots are usually the dumb ones. And if they could add like botatar or something in the next Gears of War that's being made for the Xbox One, that would be fantastic, because that way we wouldn't have dumb bots. It would actually play like a real person. Like, if someone leaves, they could actually decide to make the bot as good as the best player on my team or whatever. That'd be really cool. Like, having 2 of myself in the game, that'd be awesome. Anyway, so that's another thing they're gonna keep adding is rivatar. So that's a really good concept. I love that. If you guys don't know what that is, I guess I kind of already explained it with a different game. But in Forza Motorsport 5, what it meant, like, let's say you're driving, right, in multiplayer or whatever, and you're playing some racing matches, and all of a sudden you you get offline or whatever, and one of your friends wants to verse you. They don't actually have to verse you when you're online. They could verse your drivatar, which is a virtual you, and that car right there is pretty much adapted to your habits and stuff, how you drive. So however you drive, it's going to drive similar to you, because it learns your habits as you play. Like, the more you play, the more you're feeding your habits into the servers on Microsoft's cloud, and pretty much it it makes it like drives like you pretty much. So I don't want to get in too much into detail. I always love getting into detail, but maybe you guys don't want me to. So I'll just move on to the next one. It's gonna have dedicated servers, which is always great. Everyone wants dedicated servers on all their games just because it gives you the best possible connection, and I think that's fantastic. I personally like hybrid. What Ghost did, because Call of Duty Ghost, they have dedicated servers, but they also have hosting, and I think that's a great idea. Just if it's a hybrid, because that means if some people are closer to if most of the people on the match are closer to dedicated servers, and you play on that. If most people are closer to a host, like a person's Xbox, and they can all play together on that, and it's much closer than a server, I guess, place, then it's better to play on that because it's closer. So I think that'd be great if they added that in every game. But dedicated servers are still fantastic because it makes the games lag but less, and well, I want to say lag less, but it makes it let's see, how do I describe this? It makes everyone have the same delay, so that way it's more accurate, pretty much. Whatever. So, no lag. I'm just gonna say that makes it more simple. Anyway, so moving on. Xbox One, and it's gonna be on Xbox One and Xbox 360. I'm not sure if the resolution and frame rate is gonna be 1080p 30 frames per second on the Xbox 360, but it is gonna be on the Xbox One, so I can confirm that with you guys. Another thing is going to have over 200 cars when on the disc. When it retails, it's going to have 200 cars, so not including DLC or anything like that, which I'm pretty sure they're going to add once the game is out. But as just when you buy the game, it's going to have over 200 cars, and I don't even see the point of buying DLC at that point, because you're not even going to be driving all those 200 cars, so you might as well just not buy the DLC. That's how I see it, at least. Like, maybe the maps, like if there's new tracks, that's different, but if it's only cars, then there's no point in buying car packs, because like you have over 200 cars. You're not even going to drive that many cars, so why get the DLC? I don't know. Unless maybe it's a really like a sports pack with some really nice cars, then I might get into that. Anyway, so another thing is dynamic weather. So it's going to have dynamic weather, and what I'm pretty sure all of you guys know what that is. It just means like in an open world game, let's say you're not racing, but you're just driving around the world or whatever. It's going to like start raining, and all of a sudden it's going to change over time, and it's not going to be like rain and all of a sudden it just stops and all of a sudden the sun pops up. It's going to be like slow. It's like pretty much real life. It slowly changes from rainy to snowy to sunny and all that stuff to cloudy. So it's it's gonna have a dynamic weather, and it's gonna affect your car. So let's say it's raining, you're gonna see the individual drop particles on your car. I'm not sure if that's all gonna be on the Xbox 360 just because it's weaker hardware, but it's definitely gonna be available, all those details on the Xbox One. So yeah, so that's gonna be awesome. Another thing is it doesn't support split screen. So if you guys are wondering about that, there's no split screen supported, but there is 12-player multiplayer online, and it's going to be on dedicated servers, like I said, and there's not going to be any beta. There's not going to be a beta. I know some people have been asking about that. There's no beta, and I guess the last thing is there's going to be a demo right before the release, like a couple days, I guess, before it releases. Like, it hasn't been said like when the demo is going to be released on Xbox One, but whenever the game is, I don't know, whenever the game is getting closer to its release date, I'm assuming that's when they're going to like release the demo a couple days earlier, so you can try it out before you buy it or decide to buy it. So there's going to be a demo, and that's pretty much it. All I have to really say is it's going to be coming out on September 30th for the Xbox One and Xbox 360. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. If you found this video informative, please leave it a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.